Greetings and welcome to the 15th annual Power of Women to Make a Difference Awards Luncheon. This year's theme is Power Up, Turning Your Passion into Action. As a reminder, the Hopin platform works best using your Chrome browser. You will also have a better experience if you close all open browsers. If you have any issues at any time, please visit the help desk in the Auction and Partners area on the left side of your screen.
Good afternoon, everyone. Welcome to the 15th annual Power of Women to Make a Difference Award Luncheon. It is truly an honor to be here to celebrate a group of inspiring, accomplished women and recognize the important work of United Way of New York City and Women United. This year's luncheon features everything that you've come to know and love about this event, but we'd be remiss if we didn't mention that we've gathered together virtually. Since we last assembled in person, the COVID-19 pandemic has upended life as we know it, resulting in unprecedented tragedy around the globe and disproportionate hardship in the very communities that United Way serves. But today is a celebration, but one that's underscored by the pandemic and its wide-ranging impacts. As has been done every year, we are also commemorating Women's History Month, and we have assembled a powerhouse roster of some of New York City's most influential women. Today's honorees and many of you who are watching have achieved an aspirational level of success and used that success to make a difference in the lives of others. That's the inspiration behind this year's luncheon theme, Power Up, Turning Your Passion into Action. When women succeed in business, we open the door for others to access those same opportunities. We bring diverse experiences and perspectives to boardrooms and C-suites, and we ensure the communities we serve aren't forgotten. The other reason we invited you to join us today is to learn more about ReadNYC, which Women United has championed since 2013. Proceeds from today's event will support two core components of ReadNYC, Books from Birth and Once Upon a Summer. These transformational programs are more critical than ever to support the children and families in low-income communities who have been impacted even more by the pandemic. You'll hear more about Books from Birth and Once Upon a Summer later in the program, so stay tuned. Now, today we want to be engaged and have fun. You can also be competitive by bidding in our auction. There are multiple ways you can support ReadNYC, children and families. Make a donation by visiting the auction and partners area of this platform and bid in our Power of the Purse auction. Now, I love this auction. This year, items include luxury designer bags from Byrne, Givenchy, Dior, Fendi, and MCM, and a $250 gift card from Diamonds Doing Good. To bid, head over to our Power of the Purse booth in the expo area. We have an incredible motivational program planned for you today. Don't forget to share your favorite moments on social media using the hashtags Women Power United or Power Up. Now let's get started. Here to kick things off are the 2021 Women United Host Committee co-chairs, Trina Banks and Carol Hasenstab.
It's a pleasure to be here with you this afternoon. Each year, the Power of Women to Make a Difference Award Luncheon serves as the flagship event to celebrate Women United's mission and support the critical education work of United Way of New York City. ReadNYC is so important to me and my firm, BMO Capital Markets, and it's the reason why I eagerly raised my hand to become a co-chair of the Luncheon Host Committee this year. We want to extend our heartfelt gratitude to the Women United Host Committee, the largest United Way of New York City's history, for spearheading an amazing virtual event. We'd also like to recognize the Women United Executive Committee members whose contribution to the host committee continues to generate success for this annual luncheon. Please join me in saluting our outgoing Women United committee chairs, Janine Conry and Laura Clayton McDonald. Thank you both for your amazing service and contribution. Join me in welcoming our incoming executive committee co-chairs, Connie Shan and Holly Washington. Additionally, I would also like to thank our founding members of Women United who are joining us today. We also appreciate your wisdom and honor our fellow founders who are no longer with us. Today's luncheon couldn't be possible without the commitment of our sponsors and supporters. We'd like to thank our presenting sponsor, JP Morgan Chase & Company, Women on the Move, our VIP reception sponsor, ServiceNow, and all of you for your tremendous support. Now I want to turn it over to my co-chair and partner, Carol Hasenstab.
Thank you, Trina. What an amazing experience we had leading this host committee this year. Let me tell you all about this impressive group called Women United. I'm also a proud member of our executive committee. Our executive members work together with United Way of New York City to fight for the self-sufficiency of low-income New Yorkers by taking on the toughest challenges and creating new solutions to old problems in the spirit of philanthropy and service through advocacy, volunteerism, professional development, and networking. Women United members are committed to improving the lives of struggling New Yorkers and are credited with providing seed dollars for ReadNYC and providing United Way of New York City with creative ways to become more engaged with the initiative. In partnership with United Way Worldwide, Women United is part of a global network of more than 70,000 women across 165 communities and 6 countries. Trina and I are so blessed to be longstanding members. Women United and United Way of New York City share a common belief that becoming a self-sufficient adult starts with an equitable, strong, quality education. This is what drives Women United's continued support of ReadNYC, which empowers students, parents, caregivers, and educators through components like Once Upon a Summer and Books from Birth. Membership in Women United enables you to connect with other community-minded women to see firsthand how direct investments improve the lives of New York City families and make a measurable and immediate impact in local communities. To learn more about Women United and our many membership benefits, visit unitedwaynyc.org/Women United.
One of the most exciting parts of the luncheon involved recognizing our rising stars, who we're so excited to welcome as our newest Women United members. These young women have demonstrated tremendous potential, and they're poised to become tomorrow's leaders, movers, and shakers. That's why their organizations have chosen them to attend this year's luncheon. Each Rising Star has a network of support within their respective company to ensure their professional development. In this first video segment of the day, you'll hear directly from some of this year's Rising Stars. Let's give a listen.
My name's Ann Dolan, and I'm Senior Director of Business Operations for Northwestern Mutual. Leadership to me means being present and being an active champion for both my company and my team, and encouraging the same in my team members. Power up.
My name is Sydney Naylor, and I am Associate Counsel at Viacom CBS. Leadership can be summed up for me in 4 words: authenticity, vulnerability, persistence, and faith. Authenticity because there is only one you, and that's your power. So I always remind myself to always show up as myself. Vulnerability because you have to be okay knowing what you know and knowing what you don't know. The willingness to ask questions and ask for help is invaluable. Learning how to listen and learn is so important. Persistence, because you have to be willing to fail and get right back up again. This has been drilled into me since I was a little girl, and the ability to try again is so imperative. And lastly, faith. Faith in people, and for me, faith in God, because no matter what happens, everything will always work out. Power up.
My name is Amandine Sanya, Marketing Manager for Givenchy and Kenzo Perfume and Cosmetics at LVMH. To me, leadership is guiding your team to success. It's about empowering and uplifting your team to help people get the best of themselves. Power up.
I'm Caroline Fawnin, Senior Manager at Deloitte within the Audit and Assurance practice. When asked what leadership means to me, I think this past year has shown us that being your authentic self and creating a supportive environment is very important, both professionally and personally. As we face new challenges, it's very important that we foster an inclusive environment and we support our people. Power up.
My name's Janet Hopkins. I'm an Executive Director at CIBC World Markets. For me, being a leader isn't about what your title is. It's not about having a certain number of years experience on the job. You can be a leader at any level of the organization. Have confidence in yourself, work really hard, and inspire the people around you every day. Power up.
Tracy C. Betts. I'm a partner with PwC. So leadership to me means creating opportunity for everyone to shine, to showcase our talents with empathy and respect and radical candor. Power up.
Leadership means a few things, starting with it's the opportunity to enable people to identify their strengths and so that they can attain their goals. I think it's also important to have the ability to listen to others' opinions and thoughts and receive criticism in order to change with your environment, adapt and learn and continue to grow. Lastly, I think that true leaders demonstrate a few key qualities that I really admire, which include tenacity, the ability to get up from failure and continue on, integrity in order to lead by example, as well as empathy in order to relate to others and understand, as well as courage to make tough decisions. All of these traits, I think, are important to promote a culture of respect and diversity, which is the way of the future. Power up.
My name is Anh Nguyen, and I'm an associate in the Project Finance and Infrastructure team at CIBC. A strong leader, to me, has to be a visionary who is able to motivate others to achieve a common goal. This person has to be compassionate in order to understand other people's struggles and have the willingness to use his or her influence in order to help others overcome their difficulties. Power up.
What an inspirational group of women. Now, please welcome United Way of New York City's president and CEO and a powerhouse woman, Sheena Wright.
What a year. COVID-19 has cost millions of our neighbors their jobs. Hunger is at an all-time high. Our vital small businesses are struggling. And the disease and death that we've experienced as a community has been unprecedented. I am proud that United Way of New York City rose to the challenge. We were able to provide millions of families with access to healthy food, to help our small businesses, to help communities get access to vital testing, vaccines, to provide resources to buy essential items, and to prevent eviction. All because of our community of supporters. When we gathered here 1 year ago, we could not have imagined that the money we raised from last year's annual luncheon for the families in Mott Haven would be so desperately needed for emergency food, making sure that our families had access to any educational opportunity, that there were books at home, that teachers got the needed coaching to immediately shift to virtual learning, that social workers would be deployed to families who had been hit by COVID-19. Now, 1 year later, Mott Haven remains one of the hardest hit communities as a result of this COVID-19 pandemic. The learning loss is staggering. Hunger, disease, death, evictions, those are all ever present in the lives of the families that we serve. And I know that this year all of us reflected as this pandemic has revealed the inequities in our community. It has stoked our passion for social justice and racial equity. Our passion for making sure that our families in Mott Haven and in communities like it across the city of New York have the opportunities that we so enjoy. So on this day, our 15th anniversary, we know we need that passion more than ever. That passion is going to activate access to educational opportunities, food, supports for parents, to make ends meet, preventing eviction, and all the work that we do across the city. I can't thank you enough for joining us today and for all the days to come, because we know that women united have the power to make the difference. Thank you.
Hi everyone, I'm Nina Simone, the Education Director at the United Way of New York City, here to share just a snippet of all we were able to accomplish since March and over the summer. When our school buildings closed, we know that our students lost so much more than just their classrooms and all the magic that happens within them. They lost their friendships, their relationships with their teachers and other staff in the building, their sense of community. And unfortunately, we know that so many of our students lost access to free meals. We know this to be especially true for our families in Mott Haven that were disproportionately affected by the COVID-19 pandemic. I'm proud to say that the United Way of New York City delivered over 100,000 pounds of food directly to the doors of our families, gave out over 320 Chromebooks, tablets, and hotspots, gave out $77,000 to support rental and mortgage assistance, and gave out over 5,000 culturally relevant books to support reading and literacy at home. And to continue that, for our 7th annual Once Upon a Summer, we targeted 100 first and second graders in a 100% virtual approach, but yet it was wraparound and individualized. Each student had over 20 minutes a day with their teacher and a list of enrichment activities after that, like chess, visual arts, performing arts, martial arts, to promote physical and mental health. And we're able to do this by showing up as a backbone, mobilizing our network, and really providing that foundational infrastructure for our partners, for our school leaders, for our corporate partners to provide excellent programming.
Thank you, thank you, thank you. And we appreciate you so much.
What a great afternoon so far. If you haven't already, there's still time to bid in the Power of the Purse auction. This year's packages include purses from Dior, Fendi, Givenchy, MCM, and Byrne. A comprehensive personal consultation with Dr. Dara Leota and the Fraxis Duo System. An annual collective membership at Luminary. A personalized macro-based nutrition plan from the Healthier, Happier Way. Vouchers for free cooking lessons from Truffle, Shuffle, and much more. Get your bid in now and good luck. There are multiple ways to give by visiting the auction section here on the platform. A donation of $10,000 delivers age-appropriate, culturally relevant books for a year to 400 children ages 0 to 5 in Books from Birth program each month to support foundational reading and reading confidence. $5,000 funds an entire school with digital literacy learning subscription through partnership with Houghton Mifflin Harcourt iRead. $2,500 provides a 7-week intensive literacy program to a low-income child to reduce summer learning loss severely impacted by the COVID-19 pandemic. $1,000 provides 20 low-income New York City students with age-appropriate, culturally relevant books every month for 1 year to build their home library. $500 provides 250 meals to hungry students to nourish their growing minds. Any amount you can give will help these children and families. We'd like to extend extra special thanks to our presenting sponsor, JP Morgan Chase Women on the Move, our VIP reception sponsor, ServiceNow, our Passiontini mixed cocktail sponsor, Grace O'Malley. With our sponsors' help, United Way of New York City and Women United can continue to impact New York City families. Like honorees past, today's honorees are bold achievers, respected power brokers, encouraging mentors, and generous philanthropists. They are exemplary models of living with purpose. They've made significant contributions in their companies, their industries, and the lives of others as passionate executives, managers, and volunteers. In other words, they have powered up and turned their passion into action in meaningful ways. Now, before we highlight our first honoree, we have a special message from some of our past honorees, a reminder about what can be achieved when we all power up.
Nadia, Lisa, and Jennifer, I'm sending along a message of heartfelt congratulations to the three of you. The ReadNYC program has never been more relevant nor more crucial to the future of low-income families in New York City. Thank you for taking your outstanding professional success and translating it into extraordinary service to community. I hope you enjoyed this gathering. I know I did as a past honoree. Indeed, it was one of the highlights of my career and served only to deepen my commitment to United Way of New York City. I hope it's the same for you. Again, congratulations and have lots of fun.
Congratulations to the 2021 recipients of the United Way of New York City Power of Women to Make a Difference Award. As a 2020 honoree, I am deeply humbled to be counted among this group of truly dynamic, game-changing industry leaders. It's no coincidence that you all have achieved such esteemed levels, not only in your professional careers, but within areas of service, which is what we're all here for. Jennifer, Naja, Lisa, I honor you as the champion women you are. Congratulations again, and may you continue to inspire and bless us all.
Hello everyone, my name is Morella Velez, and I am a former Power of Women honoree and a passionate supporter of the work of the United Way of New York City. This year, more than any other year, the work of the United Way, especially its ReadNYC program, is critically important to help families of low-income communities deal with the devastating effects of COVID-19. We all know there is tremendous need. Hearty congratulations on hosting the 2021 Annual Power of Women Luncheon, our 15th event. It is an event I look forward to every year because it really does demonstrate the impact we women can have when we organize to support a cause. Since 2002, we women around the world have raised over $1.5 billion. Heartfelt congratulations also to this year's honorees. You make us all proud. I look forward to meeting you at a future event. All the best to all to stay well and a strong outcome to our drive today.
Congratulations to Naja, Jennifer, and Lisa, this year's 3 distinguished honorees of the United Way of New York City's annual Power of Women to Make a Difference Luncheon. I wish I could be there in person to give you my heartfelt congratulations, but please know how appreciative so many people in our New York City community are of the work that you're doing on a business front, from a philanthropic support perspective, as well as from the involvement that you do each and every day in the communities that you live and work in. So many children in this city have benefited from the ReadNYC program, and it's because of your efforts that it's been such a huge success. Thank you so much.
Good afternoon. My name is Erica Irish Brown, and I'm Chief Diversity Officer at Goldman Sachs. I have been engaged with Women United for 7 years and was humbled to be honored at this very luncheon in 2019. This is such a special event, and I cannot wait to experience it again in person. As a mother of 3, when my boys were little, there was nothing more important to me than our time together reading. Their literacy and love for and use of the English language was among my top priorities. Accordingly, my appreciation for and support of the work of United Way of New York City and their ReadNYC program is unwavering. Congratulations to CEO Sheena Wright for your vision and leadership of this great organization. Congratulations to all of today's honorees and our keynote for your great professional accomplishments, your philanthropy, and your willingness to be honored and support this important cause. A special congrats to my soror, Naja Bellin-White, who has been a co-conspirator in supporting organizations like United Way of New York City that seek to advance racial and gender equity. And last, but certainly not least, it is a privilege to honor my friend and colleague, Lisa Opoku. Lisa is a role model for all at Goldman Sachs, a sounding board, a truth teller, and an unrelenting agent of change. When I reflect on my time at the firm today or in the years to come, my first thought will be of her. Thank you, Lisa, for all you do in and outside of the firm. You most definitely make a difference. Naja, Lisa, and Jennifer, congrats. I hope you will stay engaged with this wonderful organization and continue to support this most worthy cause. Thank you.
Over the course of 2 decades, our first honoree, Naja Bellin-White, has built an incredible global career in marketing, communications, and digital transformation. She has led brand work for American Express, LG Electronics, IKEA North America, Coca-Cola, Siemens, and Safaricom Vodafone. As executive partner for Ogilvy and Mather Worldwide, she spearheaded brand transformation for Dove at Unilever. And in October 2020, she became the first person ever to serve as Global Chief Marketing Officer for Vice Media Group. Throughout her career, Naja has never lost sight of ways to uplift others and bring them along on her ascendant journey. As CEO of Ogilvy Africa, she helped develop Ogilvy WPP Roots, an organization dedicated to driving cultural diversity and inclusion across Europe. Whether it's her work as an executive or as a champion of diversity and inclusion, her career and charity work aligns seamlessly with United Way's values. We are thrilled to recognize Naja Bellin-White as this year's first Power of Women honoree.
When I think about my passion to action, it's living my truth. I wake up every day thinking, what did I do to help someone else? I have an amazing amount of resilience. and belief in what I can accomplish, particularly with my team and the right team around me. And there's nothing that we can't accomplish together. Reading is fundamental to everything. My success is largely driven by my Jamaican mother. Her thing was, I don't have a lot to give you, but you're gonna be the best reader in your class, if nothing else. And so when you have that kind of foundation instilled in you from the time you're 5, you can only imagine what that does over time. The values that I hold true as a leader are integrity, transparency, and forgiveness. Because none of us get ahead by pure perfection. We get ahead because we've made mistakes and we leap forward and we learn from them. I think the challenge of female leaders is, despite progress, we're constantly underestimated. One popular opinion is that some female leaders are too emotional. My personal belief is that emotion becomes a passion which drives your success. Surround yourself with a diverse group of allies. Some will look like you, some won't. But it's those diverse voices that give you a better point of view and the ability to leap forward. Some people are here to lead out in front all the time. Some people are here to make a difference from behind. I believe I can do a bit of both. Good afternoon to our virtual guests, Sheena Wright, and to the Women's United Executive Committee and the Luncheon Host Committee of the United Way of New York City. Thank you for this amazing award. I'm proud to be in the company of such esteemed New Yorkers like Lisa Akapu of Goldman Sachs and Jennifer Peepsack of JPMorgan Chase. I am just a simple girl from Queens who grew up with a mother who believed that through faith and education, anything is possible. As I reflect on where we are today in society, and I look around at my neighborhood of Harlem, I know that the only way for us to move forward is for us to put our passion into action. My passion and purpose is to make a difference in the lives that I impact every single day. I'm sure for my fellow honorees that live their truth like this, I know that they too are following this path. I leave you with a quote from Vernon Jordan, the late, great Vernon Jordan. You are where you are today because you stand on somebody's shoulders. And wherever you are heading, you cannot get there by yourself. If you stand on the shoulders of others, you have a reciprocal responsibility to live your life so that others may stand on your shoulders. It's the quid pro quo of life. We exist temporarily through what we take, but we live forever through what we give. Thank you and good afternoon, and God bless.
Our second honoree, Lisa Apoku, began her professional journey as a corporate attorney at Richards, Spears, Keeby, and Orbe before joining Goldman Sachs in 2004. She went on to serve as Chief Operating Officer for the fixed income, currency and commodities bank loan syndications and trading businesses in New York and London in 2005, moving up to Managing Director in 2006 and partner in 2012. Today, Lisa is a multi-hyphenate phenom with Goldman Sachs. She is currently the Global Chief Operating Officer for the Engineering Division and the firm's global strategists, overseeing the technology management and finance functions. She also serves on the Engineering Division Executive Leadership Group, Firm-Wide Technology Risk Committee, and as co-chair of the Americas Inclusion and Diversity Committee. Additionally, she's a sponsor of the Firm-Wide Black Network, a member of the Goldman Sachs Women's Network, and a member of the Board of Advisors for Launch with GS, the firm's $500 million diversity initiative. Though her work at Goldman Sachs involves many community-minded functions, Lisa is just as engaged with philanthropic efforts beyond the firm, filling active roles in the Foundation of Orthopedics and Complex Spine and the Dikembe Mutombo Foundation. We are excited to name Lisa Apoku as today's second Power of Women honoree.
Early in my career, I was addicted my whole life to American football. I love every first down. There's just something about it that just keeps me going. And so when I think about work, it has that same kind of drive. Every project, Every person you're developing is an opportunity to try and push towards a touchdown. Women have the most incredible gifts, and in the process of delivering these gifts, we're underestimated all of the time. She's too emotional. She's not technical. The words matter. It's incredibly important for all of us to realize how these words operate to short-circuit our careers. The most important way women can accelerate change and have an impact is to understand all of the ways you have influence. There are so many more ways than you realize. My mom is the greatest inspiration to me. She worked from 3 to 11 and then 11 to 7 for over 16 years. She was incredible, fearless, hardworking, and taught me through her efforts how hard work can be cherished. I grew up in a very religious family, and it was mandated that we would give back. But over the years, I have developed my own love of service, and I believe that it's my true north. You have to think about the way in which you transform lives, not just about the way you serve someone's needs in one day. I still feel like there's so much more work that we all need to do, philanthropic and otherwise, but I'm so honored to be recognized along this journey. Thank you so much to the incredible Sheena Wright and the wonderful leadership and Women's Executive Committee of the United Way of New York for this amazing honor. I humbly accept this award. The United Way is exceptional in its approach to making systemic change. The United Way of New York has been in existence since 1938 and has made itself an agent of institutional change. The great late Justice Ruth Bader Ginsburg said, "Real change, enduring change, happens one step at a time." The United Way of New York was founded during the Great Depression. The reality is that the Great Depression never ended for so many people in New York. And even after 82 years, you might think that all of us seeking change would have found the answers, but it's not possible. The Great Depression takes many different forms today. Once you have access to housing and food, then you need quality health care. In 2021, it may be COVID that keeps you in the Great Depression, or it might be the lack of access to Wi-Fi or a computer. The United Way operates like a brilliant algorithm that is continuously searching for the root cause. As women leaders, we are powering up to be the battery pack for others who have been put down. What does powering up mean? Powering up means getting responsible, taking responsibility to right the wrongs that you see right in front of you. I'm so proud to say that at Goldman Sachs this past week, we announced our 1 Million Black Women Initiative. Our research showed us that the median net worth of Black women was $7,000, as compared to white males who had a median net worth of $92,000. Stunning. I could not be more proud of Goldman Sachs for committing $10 billion to empower Black women. But each of us can make a similar decision in our leadership. We can mentor, we can donate, we can lead, we can educate others. Over my 17 years at Goldman Sachs, I have always sought to make sure that I use my seat to understand how I can take the privilege and power of my role to help others. It took me several years to realize that you first have to make sure your own battery gets recharged. But once I learned that, I changed the source of my energy. I decided that I report to God, and that gave me an infinite amount of energy. I am so humbled, honored, and grateful for this award and the recognition, but there is still so much more work to do. The most important lesson for each of us to understand is that just as you feel you've finished the work, find the next obstacle to overcome. It's your greatest opportunity. Mae West once said, "You only live once, but if you do it right, once is enough."
For 27 years, Jennifer Piepszak has been a major force within JP Morgan Chase & Co., During her first 17 years with the firm, she moved swiftly through a series of progressively responsible roles in the corporate and investment bank. She went on to become CEO of business banking, which serves 2.5 million small businesses across America, and then CEO of Card Services, the #1 credit card issuer in the US based on sales volume and loans outstanding. In 2019, she was named CFO and now oversees numerous areas of responsibility within the firm, including finance and business management, the Chief Investment Office, and the Chief Administrative Office. Jennifer also serves as a member of United Way of New York City's Board of Directors, making her not just a supporter of United Way, but also a proud advocate with hands-on involvement in our mission. We are proud to recognize Jennifer Piepzak as a 2021 Power of Women honoree.
My dad always said that too much is given, much is expected. Getting involved in philanthropy and getting proximate to the needs of others that may be so different from the life that you live just makes you a better person. A leader needs to have humanity and humility, grit, and decisive and authentic. And a leader needs to never stop learning. But most importantly, a leader needs to be trusted. Women really have made extraordinary strides, and I am certainly the beneficiary of that, as I've had the opportunity to have so many amazing female mentors in my career and people that I can really look up to. A woman that really inspires me is Condoleezza Rice, because she has done so many amazing things in her life and overcome so many obstacles in her life. We've all had to pivot during COVID. I've been much more deliberate about communication. I've also made sure that I have been careful to be vulnerable and relatable. And it's actually been a gift to really get to know everybody more on a personal level. Believe you can, and you're halfway there. I think it's relevant for everyone, but it's particularly relevant for women. When you're surrounded by people that are incredibly talented, incredibly smart, incredibly good people that are also super fun to be around, it is really, really easy to stay motivated. Nothing can replace hard work, so work hard. Be a trusted partner, be authentic, take care of yourself, earn great mentors, find your passion. Find the thing that really, really resonates with you. And so I think finding your passion and then focusing on it can really make a difference and accelerate change.
Good afternoon. I'm so humbled and honored to be one of this year's Women United honorees. I also want to thank the Women United Host Committee, the United Way of New York Board of Directors, and I especially want to thank Sheena for being a bold, fearless, and visionary leader who is living a life in service to others and makes me want to do better every day. Sheena, I'm in awe of what you do. As you've heard, the theme of the luncheon is the power of women to make a difference. And when I found out that the United Way wanted to honor me, I was a little hesitant. I had to ask myself if I was truly making a difference. I'm on the United Way board and I give personally, but is that enough? I am also fortunate to work for JPMorgan Chase, a company that has a long-standing commitment to supporting communities and the work of nonprofits around the world. And I make no secret about leveraging the firm's resources where appropriate to support the important work being led by Sheena and her team. But is that enough? The pandemic has ravished our city and left many even further behind. There's so much to do to help those in need, and it is daunting to think that one person can make a difference. But as we have seen so many times, it often only takes one, and today, that is my call of action to you. Don't get caught up in changing the world, but look around and focus on what you can do to make it a better place. Finding a way to have impact is really not that hard, and I dare say, if we all spent less time admiring the problems flooding our social media feeds and more time thinking about one thing we can do to make a difference and then doing that thing, the impact would be exponential. The events of this past year brought inequities to light that can no longer be ignored. And as JPMorgan Chase vowed to double down on our commitment to equity, I also challenged myself to do more. As part of our firm's $30 billion commitment to racial equity, we are committing to spend $750 million more with suppliers that are Black and Latinx owned. The team that's leading this effort is part of my organization, and I'm challenging them every step of the way to not just meet this goal, but exceed it. We are also working with Sheena and her team to find ways to support the United Way's efforts in helping the small businesses of New York City recover and thrive. Through all of this, it's been especially rewarding to see so many of our employees at JPMorgan Chase genuinely wanting to play a part in supporting our communities, but just don't know where to start, particularly in this distance environment. So we're putting more effort behind education and awareness, both of which are so very important. And I'm holding myself and my team personally accountable for increasing diversity throughout our ranks. We need more women and people of color in our pipeline and sitting at our leadership tables. Just imagine what we could accomplish if every leadership team was truly diverse and representative of our world and the communities in which we live and work. I certainly don't have all the answers, and I don't always get it right, but I'm trying every day. So if you're in a position to give money, please do. If you can give of your time and expertise, please do. And if you are in a position to drive equity within your organization or to leverage the resources of your company to support your community and the efforts of nonprofits like the United Way of New York, please do. We all have a role to play, and we can do that by moving intent into action. Thank you again for this tremendous honor.
Welcome back our luncheon co-chairs, Trina Banks and Carol Hasenstab.
Today's keynote speaker knows all about powering up and turning her passions into action. Misty Copeland began studying ballet later than most at age 13, but that didn't slow her success. In 2007, she became the American Ballet Theater's second African-American female soloist. And in 2015, she was promoted to principal dancer, making her the first African-American woman to hold the position in the company's 75-year history.
And she went on to serve on the President's Council on Fitness, Sports, and Education, and penned several books, including her New York Times bestselling memoir, Life in Motion, and its accompanying guided journal, Your Life in Motion, her first health and fitness book, Ballerina Body, and her latest picture book, Bunheads. Along the way, she has mentored countless young girls and boys who aim to follow in her trailblazing footsteps. In short, Misty has demonstrated time and time again how women can use their power to make a difference. For today's keynote, please welcome Misty Copeland.
First, I want to thank you, United Way of New York City, for having me at this year's Power of Women Luncheon. We have all experienced a lot over the past year, from witnessing abominable violence against members of the Black community to a global pandemic that has brought about so much loss, fear, and uncertainty. Thinking of what we've all endured, survived, made this Power of Women Luncheon an important gathering for me, particularly with this year's theme of Power Up, turning your passion into action. Now, passion is something that I discovered when I was just 13 years old, an extremely shy and quiet girl living with her 5 siblings and single mom in a motel room in California. I always loved to dance. Music filled our space almost constantly. I could have never imagined that my audacity to dream, to audition for my school's drill team, would one day lead me to my pursuing a career as a ballerina, a Black woman in a world where we are often overlooked and not welcomed. Ballet filled me. It made me feel like I existed, that I had purpose, in a way that I'd never experienced before. In the studio, I felt that I could achieve anything. It was difficult because I began ballet at a much later age than others, but it was my passion for ballet that pushed me to do more and to be more. When I joined ABT's main company in the Corps de Ballet Just 5 years after taking that first ballet lesson, I thought, this is it. I made it to my dream company. But there was a palpable void, one that I could not articulate at the time. I would come to understand that my concerns were heightened because I was the only Black woman in a company of 80 dancers for the first decade of my career. I inherently knew it was not possible that I would be the only Black woman in a generation of dancers who could be talented enough to be a part of a company like American Ballet Theater. But yet, here I was, just me. I started spending time with the late and great Arthur Mitchell and his incredibly gifted ballet dancers at the Dance Theater of Harlem. Mr. Mitchell, who created DTH in the 1960s out of the desire to make space for the brilliance that Black ballet dancers could bring to the stage, one day offered me an opportunity to join the company as a soloist. This was an amazing opportunity for me, not just because it would be a promotion since I was still in the corps de ballet of American Ballet Theater, but also because I realized how much I enjoyed and needed to be in a company where I was not the only one. It would have been so easy to walk away from ABT, but in that moment, I made one of the most difficult, yet most important decisions of my career. I decided to decline Mr. Mitchell's generous offer, and not because DTH wasn't an incredibly great company, but because I understood very clearly that it was important for me to stay with ABT so that doors could be opened for future generations of Black ballerinas. What made this chapter of my career at ABT different was I understood my passion was no longer just about me. It probably never was just about me, so I stayed. And I began to do research about those who came before me. And I was stunned to learn just how many Black women pushed, fought, and struggled to be on the classical ballet stage, many of whose names and faces are not widely known, but who nonetheless made it possible for ballerinas like me and many others to have an opportunity to dance on stages around the world today. My passion is still ballet, but ballet has given me a beautiful foundation to build upon, my new and ever evolving passions, like making sure that Black women who came before me are recognized and celebrated as the gifted artists that they were, that history books will come to acknowledge them, that they and their legacies will never be forgotten. I'm dedicating my next book, Black Ballerinas, to these courageous, amazing women. There is no community without unity. Community is so important in whatever we do. I am clear that once I opened up my life and career to having a community of supporters and mentors, everything changed for the better. I felt more secure, confident, and assured in my journey as a Black woman. Consequently, I felt it to be my responsibility to serve as a mentor for the next generation of Black dancers, so they'd know that they are not alone and that they have not only me, but each other. When all is said and done, I hope that my legacy will be one that contributed to creating a pathway to opportunity in ballet for Black ballet dancers. We belong on this stage. We always have. Once again, thank you to United Way of New York City for having me. I am truly grateful for the opportunity to speak with you today. Thank you.
Thank you, Misty, for that stirring and heartening speech. Now, as we near the end of the program, we want to thank everyone who participated in this year's Power of the Purse auction. Now, please welcome two power women in their own right from United Way of New York City's board. And they're also serving as executive sponsors of the luncheon.
Ladies and gentlemen, our board members, Hedia Fakhriazdi and Robin Zivik.
What a fantastic event. One of my favorites every year. It was such an honor leading last year's host committee with my friend and co-chair Laura James. And being a part of this year's event has been no different. We hope you've enjoyed today's luncheon and that you feel inspired to use your power and turn your passion into action. We'd like to thank all of you for attending today and for continuing to support the United Way of New York City's work to help our students achieve their fullest potential.
Thank you, Hedia. I too love my time serving as the luncheon co-chair. This event continues to inspire me every year. We'd like to thank our honorees, Rising Stars, Women United host and executive committee members, our fearless president and CEO, Sheena Wright, and the incredible staff that worked to produce this luncheon. Special thanks to today's MC, Cindy Hsu, and also thank you again to this year's sponsors for their unmatched generosity.
And last but not least, with all of your support today, I'm pleased to share that we have raised $699,750 to continue the United Way of New York City's ReadNYC programs, including some of Robin and my favorites, Books from Birth and the Once Upon a Summer programs. We would love to make it over the $700,000 mark. And to help us get there, we hope you will stay online and join us in the Auction Partners tab. The auction will remain open until 2:30 p.m. Please, please, please help us get over the $700,000 mark. And again, thank you all for helping to use your power to help New York's most vulnerable and for joining us today.
What an afternoon. Let us know about your favorite moments in the official event chat, and be sure to use hashtags Women Power United and also Power Up when you share your memories on social media. Now that the luncheon is coming to a close, supporting United Way of New York City doesn't end here. You can give by visiting unitednyc.org/Women United to learn about other ways that you can help all New Yorkers have a fair chance to succeed. Congratulations to this year's honorees and rising stars, and huge thanks to the luncheon's host committee, Women's United Executive Committee, and UWNYC Board of Directors for a truly empowering event. Now, extra special thanks to all of you for your commitment to uplifting one another and driving change in your communities. We'll see you next year.
Thank you for joining our 2021 virtual Power of Women to Make a Difference Awards Luncheon. Find your table by clicking the tables area on the left side of your screen. Once in that area, simply click the image. You will be able to share your audio and video. If you have any issues, please visit the help desk in the Auction and Partners area.